Hello folks, welcome to Walkie Talkie. Now, I'm going to try my best with this, but also want to start off with something nice to check over. It's in my bag. 118 scale, 1997 F1 Racing model replica. Now, I got that for £15, and I thought, start the video with something pretty damn nice, because where we're going to go topic wise in the next minute, and just give something a general nice contrast on the matter. So we're just going to now we motor through. This area is beyond nice, very, very nice. So this news article, I honestly wouldn't have ever have expected to read, to be honest. I am absolutely, I'm beside for words. That's when even, what's it called, back in COVID days, right? Pump the stuff onto your hand, all that stuff. Right. Hopefully going to give us a wee blast in a moment. So, in Ireland, there is a 3-letter acronym I'm sure we're all aware of, to one degree or another, have been talking about dealing with the migration crisis, and no matter what you say, it is a crisis. Oh, a bit close, isn't it? Is it? Use the road, moron! Yeah. Now, talking of these delivery companies, they frequently employ migrants without doing proper checks in any way, shape or form, and also because it's a self-employed role, these people take the self-employed role and take the fucking piss out of it. And that's why we've got these morons riding up the pavements, nearly knocking down Mrs. McPherson, all that stuff, right? But yeah, it's totally outrageous. The worst thing is when the police take the bikes off these people, it doesn't bother them anyway, and it really doesn't, because the delivery bikes are actually owned by like Deliveroo, Tradeston area, right? So if the bike gets taken off, it's like, aye, so fucked, right? But that's just sadly the way things are. But an IRA group, and I'm careful to use the term the new IRA, are putting out 24-hour notices on migrants and immigration. Now, I don't know exactly what would come of the post 24 hours, if you know what I mean. Once it hits 24 hours, 1 minute, what actually comes of it, I don't know, and it's not been articulated yet. But having that 3-letter acronym and anything is actually pretty scary, bearing in mind what happened from the early 80s to the mid 90s. Death, people blowing up on transport, bills blowing up, Maggie Thatcher was attempted to be blown up in Birmingham, mind. But she lived to another day, and then she died later on, in 2012 area, I believe. But anyway, having any version of the IRA dealing with immigration is actually chilling. It really is frightening. Bear in mind what power can happen. Now, I've been watching a lot of stuff on the internet, like YouTube. I don't watch TikTok because it's a nonce website. Right? If you're over the age of 16 and you're watching TikTok videos, it's like someone needs to have a word with you. But anyway, what I'm saying is Belfast and also Ireland as a general is very close to Boogaloo, and when Ireland does Boogaloo, it does Boogaloo quite well. I'm not praising, I'm just telling you the facts. It's absolutely something you take serious, the Boogaloo in Ireland. Right? I would hate to think there's going to be repeating scenes from back in the late 80s, early 90s, etc. happening over immigration, migration, and potentially remigration. Right? Sounds like it's going to be remigration by force. Right? But our governments have failed. 3 successing governments have failed on this matter. They basically put the fingers in their ear and la 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 la. Right? And that is not good. We do not vote in political parties to just sit with fingers in their ear on uncomfortable topics. But that's what's been going on. Keir Starmer, a great example number one of what I'm trying to say, you know. And the thought of death and buildings being blown up and people going on innocently to buses and being blown up around the corner is something that should instill honest fear and disgust. And I know our governments have successfully failed 3 times per government the topic immigration, right? But this, surely, really, if we want to kind of compare things, right? Imagine a nightclub, right? And the nightclub has said to the city council departments, we only hold 1,990. So it's 95% full now, right? And it's getting uncomfortable inside. But if you just keep going, yeah, come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in, people won't be able to move. And then people might end up getting body, like inappropriate treatment, inappropriate touch, murder, theft, fraud, you name it. Right? And they start adding people in, and then the building actually starts to fucking creak. Yeah. Where we're at is we're probably at the stage where I described the 95th percent capacity. We're probably there, but as you know, there have been people that have been raped, murdered, frauded upon, and unfortunately there's not been very much traceability of the person that's done it, because they've come in a rapid boat and no documentation, no traceability, no anything like it whatsoever, and it is frustrating. Right? Nobody should feel a fear of being murdered, raped, frauded, pickpocketed, or any other crime. The problem has always been there for at least 15 years. But it really has hockey sticked. And as Winston Ingram from Stilgane says, there's two groups of people use the persons that use the front door and people who use back door. Persons that use the front door come through in a legally binding way through the regular process forms, and the people who come through the back door just kind of come through in the rabbit boat and not make themselves accountable or traceable or anything like it. It's the world as the UK knows it is in a poor way because governments have basically stuck their fingers in their ears and went la 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 to the uncomfortable topics that need to be discussed, and whilst that's going on, people have just been coming in through the back door, and there have been a lot of run-ins with each other, crimes committed, and it's a sorry state where we are at. That's all I'll say. It's a very sorry state, and I really do hope someone pulls the handbrake, government-wise, like Andy Burnham, and brings it into a more lightness of controlled before any of this horrible boogaloo kicks off. Belfast, from what I read in YouTube videos, they're very close to boogaloo, and when the boogaloo starts, the boogaloo doesn't stop. Right? And I really do hope things do get better before a Britain boogaloo happens. It's a hard topic to describe, yes, and I hope I've got a reasonable, respectful look on the topic. I really do. All I can say is I just hope things come to a calm and cohesive conclusion before anything such like it happened. And I've seen some video of the anti-migration and anti-for march in Glasgow, and it honestly looked grisly. Actually, it really did. I've got to say that. I will only say one thing, and I'll say it now. There is a big problem right across the board. Right across the board, a big problem. And if we don't get a control of it through like Andy Burnham, we're not going to talk about John Swinney. He's about as useful as a shit-filled nappy. Right? He's no particular interested in anything. Recently, Hamza Yusuf has been tweeting and making noises on YouTube, but that's all he'll ever do. Sadly, he's never going to provide anything cohesive, so there we have it. But it's all pretty worrying, and the phrase right place, right time, right? If the politicians meet at the right place at the right time, something could happen, but they all are too busy. Yeah, they might be in the right place. The right time comes and goes, but they've got their fingers in their ears. And unfortunately that does not line up to a potentially good outcome. I'll just say one thing as a quick end. What's going on in Belfast and Ireland in general, I really do hope they do find a solution before what I call the final solution, being the IRA, gets involved, because once they get involved, there's pretty much no way out. And I don't want to see scenes that are reminiscent to the 80s and the 90s again. I want our governments to finally get fingers at the ear, dildo at the ass, and get doing what they are actually being voted in to do, rather than just sit there blah, 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 blah. Right? No, I think all these politicians that we all sit and vote and put display pictures on our social media for, we really need to get our finger out our ass and get doing something, and bloody well quick. Anyway folks, thanks for listening in. I hope you've enjoyed, and we'll see you in our video.